Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donoghue and Sonia Mansfield talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donoghue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. We are the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. Last week, we talked about Neil Gaiman. That was pretty exciting. We got some feedback on that one. This week, we're doing something a little different. We're talking about... what are we talking about, Sonia? Like, how should I?
We're talking about a trope, if you will.
Thank you.
We are talking about cool girls and pick-me girls, and what are those, and why it's bad, and also about being careful who we label those things. So it's going to be a little different than how we normally do these episodes. Normally, it's like a person. And it has like a timeline. This one doesn't really have that. It's really more of a discussion. I think it's going to be interesting. I'll be very curious to hear responses in our social media channels.
Well, let me just mention that we're always looking for ideas for creeps and also for non-creeps. Once again, if you're the first time listening, we always end the show with somebody who's not a creep. Today, we're going to talk about not creepy people to follow on social media, so you feel a little bit more elevated. We do have a basic Facebook page, What a Creep Podcast. We don't really use it. It's just a place for people to go to complain about our language. Sonia and I are much more interactive in our private Facebook group. So you type in What a Creep Podcast group to have to answer a few questions, and you come on in, and we really do just talk about creeps, past to the present, pop culture news, what we're talking about. We also have another show called Dorking Out. We dork out about movies there too. So it's a fun spot. It's a good place to hang out. We do have an account on Twitter that's Creep Pod, and it's called Creep Pod because somebody had What a Creep on Twitter for over 10 years and never used it.
What a creep,
right?
Creep.
We're on Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. What a Creep Podcast, and we have an old timey email, whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. And if you would like some stickers, send us your address via email, and we will drop them in the mail for you wherever you are on the planet of Earth.
By we, she means her.
I will do it. I know all the mailboxes all around my neighborhood. It's all part of my afternoon walk, so it works for me. Sonia, do you want to tell them about the website?
Yeah, go to whatacreeppodcast.com, and it's everything you want to know about the podcast, but we're afraid to ask. We have links to all of our past episodes, and in each of those little posts, you can click it and it'll open up, and it has our show notes because we source everything we do. We're not making any of this stuff up. So if you're looking for a deeper dive on any of our creeps, that's a fabulous place to start. And we have a link to our merch shop. It's on Threadless. You could just go to Threadless too if you want and type in What a Creep Podcast. It'll pop right up. And we have t-shirts and tote bags and face masks. It's cold and flu season. Y'all get your face mask.
Get your flu shots if you can.
Get your flu shots. Get your COVID updated vaccines, all the things. Anyway, you could also do that. There's a link to our Patreon. You want to tell them about that, Margot?
Yes, Patreon. We have our first 9 seasons on that Patreon wall. And then Sonia and I put out 2 bonus episodes a month. And what's fun about those is that we're talking about creeps in the news and non-creeps in the news, but we also do it video style over Zoom. So you can see what we look like when we're talking to each other. It's freaking people out, apparently. I've been listening to it for a while. Yeah. They're having there's a little bit of a disconnect there, getting used to our faces and talking, but
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But we want to thank everybody that supports us there. And another way you could support us is to leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. In Apple Podcasts, if you could click the 5 stars, that would be amazing. If you like what we do. If you don't like what we do, just leave us alone. Let us be.
Plenty of free podcasts out there. Go for it.
No kidding. So all of you that help us out, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think we've gone through everything, right? The whole rigmarole we do at the top of the show.
I think that's right.
Okay. So Sonia, tell me about what brought you to this subject that we're doing today.
What brought it to me was I spend a lot of time on TikTok, probably too much time. And I keep seeing videos of women that are doing something that I used to do when I was younger. And we have talked about this a lot on our show at various episodes, like, the idea of the like confessions of a former pick-me girl. Like, you know what? Let me just give the sources. I
Okay.
did a little bit of reading on this one for us. So I had sources for this episode include The Atlantic, BuzzFeed, CNN, dictionary.com. That's right. I looked up
Ooh.
stuff like Webster's Dictionary says. No, I'm kidding. But go to dictionary.com, has great stuff. Jezebel, New York Magazine, Washington Post, the Women's Media Center, and I went to YouTube, the
YouTube
and watched
tubes of you.
There's a channel called The Take, and they did one called The Cool Girl Trope Explained, and it has lots of examples when you could find in movies of the cool girls and pick-me's and things like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So think about this. Do you know any women who do or say these things? She's one of the guys. She just prefers to hang out with guys because girls cause, quote, too much drama. She doesn't want to wear makeup because boys like a natural look. I'm not a feminist because I don't hate men. And they say things like, I'm not like other girls, or I'm not really into girly things because that just seems silly. These are women who like to shit on things that other women love to make themselves look cooler to men. It could be rom-coms, it could be romance novels, it could be pop music like Taylor Swift, or shows like The Bachelor, or any of the shows that Margot and I love on Bravo. If this sounds familiar to you, then maybe you know someone like this, or maybe this used to be you. You're familiar with the pick-me girls and cool girls. So a pick-me girl is a woman who obsessively desires male approval and validation, often at the expense of other women. They need to be chosen. They want to be chosen. They love to talk about, like, I'm not like other women. They like to point out that maybe they don't wear as much makeup, or they prefer sports to fashion. And I'm not saying, by the way, that there aren't women that choose sports to fashion. They do, but they don't use it as a way to put other women down. It's pick me girl is almost always used in a negative way. And the term got traced back to a 2005 episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, is that why you had her in the artwork?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Meredith Grey is begging like Patrick Dempsey's character to like pick her, basically, and he's married and she's the other woman, I believe, and she's like, pick me, choose me, love me. And people kind of glommed on to that pick me, and it became a thing. So then in 2016, while Trump is like running for the White House, by the way, the first time, the idea of the pick me girl hashtag started running on Twitter, and people were like sharing all these, you might be a pick me if, this sort of thing. So, but it started from that Grey's Anatomy thing. There's a lot of different things about pick me's. There's the makeup, there's the sports, there's the I'm not into girly things. You maybe are like, you try to play up your good wife or good wife material qualities. They either like follow traditional gender stereotypes. They play into the idea of like the patriarchal ideas of what it is to be female. They cook, clean, and feed their men. They're all about boosting like male ego, promoting male entitlement. And what they really haven't figured out yet, and it took me a long time to get there too, because I was this person, was she's dealing with internalized misogyny. Like, she was probably raised to do these things to get boys to pick you. That's what a lot of us did this. Gen X people, come on, ladies, raise your hands. You all know this. You were raised to value what the boys around want her to do. It's like, well, what do they think? I want the boys to like me. You know, she might make sexist comments about other girls, and it's about like knocking down the competition
Mm-hmm.
to get those male eyes on you. And I was this girl, and I've done a lot of work on this. I think about it a lot. I've talked about it in therapy. Like, you know, I think that I was bullied a lot, like a lot of people, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
in middle school and high school. And I think some of it was to protect myself. You know, it's like, don't look at me. Look at what she's doing.
Right.
I'm cool. She's not cool, you know. I definitely surrounded myself with like male friends and would be like, guys are just less drama. Spoiler alert, they're not.
They're not. No.
They're not less drama. They're a whole other kind of drama.
Right.
And the truth is, I just wanted them to like me and pick me and choose me. That's what I wanted. I put other girls down to make myself look better. And I wanted to be the cool girl. So let's talk about the cool girl.
Please.
Okay. So the cool girl, perfectly described in Gone Girl. So there's the monologue from the book in 2012, and then there's the movie in 2014. I like the one in the book because it's a little bit more concise, but the one in the movie is epic.
Cool girl. Men always use that, don't they? As their defining compliment. She's a cool girl. Cool girl is hot. Cool girl is game. Cool girl is fun. Cool girl never gets angry at her man. She only smiles in a chagrin-loving manner. She likes what he likes. So evidently, he's a vinyl hipster who loves fetish manga. If he likes girls gone wild, she's a mall babe who talks football and endures buffalo wings at Hooters. When I met Nick Dunn, I knew he wanted cool girl. And for him, I'll admit, I was willing to try. I wax stripped my raw. I drank canned beer watching Adam Sandler movies. I ate cold pizza and remained a size 2. I blew him, semi-regularly. I lived in the moment. I was fucking game. I can't say I didn't enjoy some of it. Nick teased out in me things I didn't know existed. A lightness, a humor, an ease. But I made him smarter, sharper. I inspired him to rise to my level. I forged the man of my dreams.
Here's what she says in the book, describing a cool girl. Men always say that as a defining compliment, don't they? She's a cool girl. Being the cool girl means I am hot, brilliant, funny woman who adores football, poker, dirty jokes, and burping, plays video games, drinks cheap beer, loves threesomes and anal sex, and jams hot dogs and hamburgers in her mouth like she's hosting the world's biggest culinary gangbang while somehow maintaining a size 2 because cool girls are above all hot and understanding. Cool girls never get angry. They only smile in a chagrined, loving manner and let their men do whatever they want. Go ahead and shit on me. I don't mind. I'm a cool girl. That's what a cool girl is. There's a really great article. It's linked in the show notes, written by Anne Helen Peterson. And it's in BuzzFeed. And she says, cool girls are basically dudes masquerading in beautiful women bodies, and they're reaping the privileges of both. But it's a performance. It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
These women don't exist. There are women that like hot dogs and cheap beer and all those things, but some of it is performative.
Right.
And you know, you want to be the cool girl. You want to be picked. Don't be chill. Don't be a downer. Or, be chill. Don't be a downer.
Mm-hmm.
Act like a dude, but look like a supermodel. That's the cool girl. And this article in particular talks a lot about Jennifer Lawrence when she was first on her Hollywood rise. And it's no slight at Jennifer Lawrence. She was doing what she needed to do. But
sure.
But there was this idea of anytime they would interview her for stuff, she's like, I'm just thinking about going to eat buffalo wings after this. It's like, okay, Sure you are, Jennifer Lawrence. You know?
Oopsie, I tripped on the stairs to get my Oscar.
Yeah.
Who picked that? Who would think that would happen?
Yeah, exactly. All of those things. And like we've seen a million movies with these kinds of cool girls. And like there's like a couple that came to mind. One was like, did you ever see the Cinderella story?
No.
The one with shit. Not Hannah Montana. The one who played Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, Hilary
Anyway.
Duff?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. At some point, like the prince like asks her if she prefers a rice cake or a hamburger, and she's like a burger, and he's like pleasantly surprised, like a woman would eat a hamburger, because most girls are obsessed with dieting. Or there's like in the show Scream Queens, like this woman's like ordering coffee, and she's like, I just want a regular coffee. Those white girl pumpkin spice lattes annoy me. And then the guy's like, I think I'm in love.
She's
and
so
then
down
of
to
course
earth.
then there's like Mary, and there's something about Mary. Sports center, golf, wants to eat sausages at the ball game and drink beer, not light beer, real beer. And Mary's adorable, everybody drink, but
Right.
like she's written by men for men.
The Farrelly
like-
brothers created Mary.
Yes.
And she's someone, right, who's astonishingly beautiful, but like
yes.
never gets harassed for it.
No.
And also, yeah, that she just there's a whole scene in What About Mary where she's like talking about her dream guy, and it's so
Yes.
written by a man. And
yes. It's like,
Sarah
I want a guy who'll play golf with me all day and then take me to a ball game afterwards, and we'll eat sausages and drink beer. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And by the way, there could be a woman that likes those things, but in general, like, come on.
But when you're saying
Come
like
on.
it's like he's some like it's a ship that that'll never pass in the night. You're looking for someone
Yeah.
so special, and it's like, no, a lot of guys like beer and hot dogs. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And you and I both like sports too. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm against it, but yeah, it's not a whole personality.
Yeah. I'm, by the way, someone who likes baseball and craft beer and all those things. I don't want your hamburger. It's
I'll
gross.
take the
But
hamburger.
yeah, you can have that. But like, there's a way to like those things and not put other things down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a cool girl or a pick me. It's not that they like those things. You can like whatever you want. It's that you put other people down in the process.
Yes.
A couple other ones are like, I haven't seen this movie, but I know it's a good example. Megan Fox and the Transformers is a good example.
Mhm.
Absolutely gorgeous, who's just really, really into cars, or like, I mean, you might even be able to throw in the manic pixie dream girl trope
Yes,
into this.
absolutely.
There's definitely some like cool girl tropes in there. So now people listening might be like, well, who cares? Who cares about cool girls and, pick me girls and all that, and if you want to be a pick me and a cool girl, you don't want to be your authentic self to land a man. That's fine. You do you. You're setting yourself up for failure. And you're probably being shitty to the women in your life, but to make yourself look cooler. But hey, maybe it's not my business.
Mhm.
And when I see this, I have, definitely run into women now that center men. And I try to have a lot of empathy because I know some of it is just they were raised that way, and they're like the patriarchy is everywhere, and it's almost like they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And I try to be kind, and sometimes I just back away slowly and be like, okay. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is because this stuff is actually harmful. Like these kinds of gender stereotypes, like including like cool girls and pick-me's, like there's like body shaming, eating disorders,
Mhm.
like maybe you're not as ambitious in your career and you're more tolerant of abuse and sexism. And I think that those things are super harmful. And I really want to focus on the like women who do this on social media that do it in bad faith. Like, they don't really believe the things they're saying, but they say it as like rage bait. They go on social media, they say shit like women don't deserve equal rights. We shouldn't be allowed to vote. I would never want a woman to be president because we get our periods and we're so emotional and blah, blah, and we should be subservient to men. They don't really think that. They're just saying that because they're trying to piss you off. So you'll click on their shit and they make the money. I'm not even going to name names. There's one woman in particular who she goes on everyone's podcast and is like, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. And we
Ann
should
Coulter?
be. No, it's not Ann Coulter, but I don't want to even name this woman's name. Fine. Her name is Pearl. That woman, Pearl. Have you seen Pearl?
No, who's Pearl? Pearl
Oh
Bailey?
my God, no.
Look at these chips, baby.
Ah,
Some chips.
oh, it's just this she's just one of these conservative talking heads that goes on podcasts and wants so badly for men to pick her, and they don't want her. That's what's funny. She's just like, women shouldn't be wearing that much makeup and they shouldn't make more money than a man. And if you're married to a man, his money isn't your money, it's his money. And women shouldn't be allowed to vote. She says all of these things. And it's like, no one's picked her. And there's literally videos from men saying we're conservative men and we will never pick her, because they don't want someone like her. They want a beautiful free bird that they can put in a cage.
Right.
That's not what they want. And they turn on her all the time in the comments, these conservative men. And she's so surprised when the leopards eat her face.
Right.
They don't. And it's fucking harmful. Social media has a lot of influence, especially on younger people. And these pick-me's and these cool girls are teaching women and men, boys and girls, theys and thems, that this shit is acceptable, and it's not acceptable. And it's just rage bait bullshit. And I do think that if we see this kind of behavior, it's okay to call it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wanted to say that we should be careful when we call this out, because all trends, once they hit the internet, gets a certain level of toxic. They get toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And women start using it as a reason to tear each other down, which is the opposite of what we should be doing right now. And I just wanted to say that we should all be mindful of younger people who are still trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, pick me girl, cool girl stuff. You could go on TikTok and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of videos making fun of it, or, and it's fine. Again, let's call it out when we see it, because we should. But it's getting to a point where women can't do anything. No matter what you do, they're you're a pick me, you're a cool girl. It's if you like sports, you're being a pick me. No, maybe she just really likes sports.
Right.
And if you're into Real Housewives and shopping, you're some sort of basic bitch. And young people need to figure out their shit.
Right.
So just be careful. But if we want to pick on some people for pick me cool girl behavior, got a good list.
Oh, thank you. Please.
Let's talk about the Megyn Kellys, the Candace Owens, the Ann Coulters, the Lauren Burke, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Laura Loomis, Kellyanne Conway. These people can fuck all the way off. They Alyssa Rosenberg. Do you ever read her?
Yeah.
Yeah. She writes for the Washington Post, and a couple years ago she wrote about conservative cool girls. And she said, if a cool girl who gives up her own taste in food and alcoholic beverages and reading material is subordinating her personality for a man, then there's like an extra thrill to the way conservative cool girls, particularly the ones that back Trump no matter what, validate not merely the policy preferences of conservative men, but specifically the things that conservative men do that are demeaning to women. They don't merely reaffirm men's ideas of themselves to those men. They march out and they sell that flattering image to people, no matter how embarrassing the sales pitch. Like, that's what these women are doing. Like, we did an episode on Phyllis Schlafly,
Mm-hmm.
and she's one of the main, if you haven't listened, y'all, she's one of the main leaders of the Equal Rights Amendment not being passed. Like, she fucking sucks. But she didn't really believe that women didn't deserve equal rights and should stay home and raise children. She believes that for you,
Right, but not for her.
but not for her, you know? And again, now we have all of these, again, the Megyn Kellys, the Candace, all the women I just listed. They don't believe that misogynistic shit for themselves, but they believe it for you,
Mm-hmm.
you know? They're saying that shit because they want money and they want power and they want to glean like protection and power from their conservative male counterparts. And they want these men to think they're cool girls, but the men don't think they're cool girls.
No.
You know, I mean, Megyn Kelly in particular, who, by the way, lost her fucking shit this week.
That was glorious to watch. Her Taylor Swift meltdown.
Yes. Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, and Megyn Kelly's head exploded in a way that she hasn't since, like, she found out Santa, could be black.
He's a black man,
like,
yes.
Yeah, she lost her fucking mind, and she can't deal with it. And, like, the reason Megyn Kelly is even a thing is because she used to work at Fox News, where she was sexually harassed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole movie about it that I can't watch because I don't want to have any empathy for Megyn Kelly. But, like, she was sexually harassed at Fox News. She co-hosted, moderated a debate, and Trump said a bunch of nasty shit about her. And then, like, she left Fox. She went to NBC. She's too racist for NBC, so they kicked her off. And she's still, like, and now she's, like, constantly kissing that fucking conservative ring, like, doing all the pick-me stuff, repeating all their, like, sexist talking points. And guess what? It hasn't resulted in anything for her. She's got her little YouTube web show. Like, they're not picking you, Megyn. They're not going to pick you. They're not going to put you back on TV. Like, what are you doing? Look at Laura Lermus. Sorry, the one who's, like, traveling around with Trump now.
Yeah, is he having an affair with her?
That's the rumor.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, he's very handsy
Maybe
around
she
her.
got picked. Oh,
Finally,
she
Melania's not tapping that. She smells the diapers and the French fry on him and is like, no, thank you.
She hates his guts.
Yeah.
She hates him.
And she's a garbage person too, by the way. So
yeah, no, we don't have any
she knows
empathy
who she
for
picked,
her.
though.
Yeah. Laura Lermer, whatever the fuck her name is, she's garbage. She's garbage. She, like, totally fans, like, the worst racist, like,
Right.
sexist shit. Transphobia. Like, she's the worst. She's one of those women that claims that, like, feminism means that, like, we've made men the enemy, that, we're all going to end up alone with our cats and dogs with no kids and no husbands. And it's like,
don't threaten me with a good time.
true dad. Also, like, that's all you got.
Right.
But hey, maybe she's been chosen. So good for her.
He used that word, by the way, to talk about his past rape convictions. He used the word chosen.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would never choose her.
Right.
Would never choose her. Like, you should be so
She was
lucky.
not the chosen one.
Yes. You should be so lucky to be sexually
It's
harassed
flattering,
or
yeah.
sexually abused by me. You should be flattered.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking gross. While I was doing all this reading, I discovered someone named Allie Beth Stuckley, who does a podcast called Relatable.
I don't
Do you know
it.
this podcast?
Mm-mm.
Good for us for not listening to that shit. And she's basically the new Phyllis Schlafly. Like, she, hosts her conservative podcast. She has her conservative conferences that she likes to speak at. Sorry. She condemns shit like birth control. She's against in vitro fertilization.
But they're pro-family, I thought.
Yes. Yeah, right. She's like against like, surrogate parenthood. She's all about JD Vance. She thinks he's dope.
Oh no.
Like
no.
that's her man. She's all about Project 2025, all of those things. Tighter federal restrictions on abortion, marriage is only a man and a woman, blah, blah, blah. The reporter for The Atlantic, by the way, asks her, like, hey, while you're, speaking at all these conferences and like recording your podcast, who's watching your children? Like, your missus, like, we should all be staying at home raising our kids.
Right. What did she say?
What are you doing? She didn't give an answer. She declined to answer. Yeah, I fucking bet.
Yeah.
Like, she's another one that's like, none of these things for you, but it's okay for me. And that's
because she's special.
The harm. Yes. And the irony of all these bitches that I just listed is that the women on the right being able to have the platform they have is entirely the result of feminist gains.
Mm-hmm.
It's the work that feminists did. Again, we couldn't even have credit cards in like the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, feminists have made it so that these women can speak their minds and they shit all over it. And that's like the definition of like cool girl, pick me bullshit. And we could make a lot more gains if we decentered men's needs and focused on human needs.
Right.
But they don't want to do that. They think like this is the easiest way for them to get money and power, is to just align themselves with these conservative men instead of lifting other women up.
No,
they want to push them down.
They want to bask in their reflected glory.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Exactly. So in conclusion, putting on these personas might seem helpful at first for women in the short term, but in the long run, this actually really, really hurts us. And this is why I wanted to talk about it. It doesn't put us on equal footing with men.
No.
The pick-me's and the cool girls they're cool with the patriarchy. They want to be seen as the exception.
Exactly.
And that's why the shit is harmful. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. And if we like having this conversation, y'all, if you're into this, like, let me know, because we could do a sequel. And I called it The Nice Guys and the Wife Guys.
Right.
Which is another take on this sort of thing. So that's what I got for cool girls and pick me girls.
Very good job, Sonia. My pick for a pick me girl, like, of all time is Sarah Silverman, who really pulls that I'm just one of the boys.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Whitney
dick
Cummings.
Jokes. Whitney Cummings. Sarah, I give a hard time to because Sarah does lip service for women and women's rights and women's issues, but she does center herself around men, and she needs the approval of men to tell her that she's funny and she's beautiful, or she doesn't feel funny or beautiful, I guess. She went on Howard Stern and they were talking about Louis C.K. and he's like, you've been friends with Louis forever. And she's like, yeah, and she did say on her show that, what do you do when somebody you love and you care about does something terrible? So she was at least acknowledging. But when Howard was saying to her, like, did you know the rumors? She goes, oh, yeah. One time he and I were hanging out and he said, can I show you my dick? I want to whack off. And she said, of course I do. Because she's a cool girl and she's up for
so
anything.
Cool.
She's so spontaneous and not judgmental. This is the problem, that it okays it for him to just ask other women. And if they're in the comedy world or they want to like have what he has, they feel like they have to laugh at his jokes and stroke his ego. You don't have to touch him, but you have to watch him do this thing. Yeah. And she enables that. She doesn't think she does. She thinks she could just say to him, hey, you shouldn't do that to women, but she would never bring it up because she also doesn't want to hurt their bond, right?
Yes.
So
that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That's the cool girl.
Right.
The conservative women I was listing off, those are pick-me's.
Right.
There's like a slight little difference, and Sarah Silverman is a great example of that.
Right. Because but also she said that she was on one of the roasts. I think it was William Shatner. And all these guys that she kills herself. This is what it got to me. It was like she kills herself to get their approval and have them tell her she's funny. She's equal with them. She's as funny as they are. She deserves to be on
Women
the dais.
are funny too.
Right. But then when they were, they have to find things to make fun of people. That's the whole thing of a roast. They kept talking about how old she was and that she was unfuckable because she was old. And she was like 40 at the time. And she was saying like, I was so devastated. How did they do that? I'm like, because they don't fucking care, because they're misogynists and you're just letting them do their thing. And you're okaying it. And they tell other women or they make it clear to other women who aren't okay with what they're doing, like, you're the problem. Because Sarah doesn't have a problem with it. You could tell that to Sarah. I had men at work, I can't get to sleep. I've had men flirt with me at work, and I would say something. Once I said something to my boss, and they were like, oh, he's just a flirt. He doesn't mean anything by it. And then he was pissed that I said something, and then was very, pissy to me for a while. This is, there are lawsuits nowadays for these things. Yeah. But it was made clear to me like, oh, well, everybody likes him. And so just be nice to him. Just, can he just joke with you a little bit? You're going to hurt the vibe if you don't go along with it. And it's like, right, I have to be demeaned to make him feel better. A person I don't really respect all that much because he's not smarter than me or funny or whatever it is. But yeah, it's very frustrating, and it promotes mediocrity.
Yes,
which is my huge problem with it. Of all the things, yeah.
I cringe when I think back at some of the things I've done or said or even written.
Yeah,
in my 20s and early 30s. Like, I was like, you're old enough to know better, but I didn't know better.
We just, I said this in the Facebook group, like, Gen X women, we were raised, by men that didn't have feelings, by men that, aren't honest with their feelings. So they raise boys that aren't honest with their feelings. And then we're dating these boys and hanging out with these boys, and they have issues on top of their issues, but they don't ever self-reflect. It's always like, it's a problem with society. It's a problem with the things around me. And it's like, no, you're not very likable. You're not very interesting, frankly. Like, you don't allow yourself to live life fully. You're putting up a front, and that also, it harms you as well, dude.
Yeah. I surrounded myself in college with men.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my friends were men, and I think about all the times I put other women down,
right,
and to make myself look cooler. And the thing is that those men never stuck up for me.
Yep, that's the point. Yep,
the leopards ate my face over and over and over.
They will never respect you.
Yes,
because they don't respect you.
No, they're like, Sonia's one of the guys. She's just one of the guys until she isn't,
and then you have a problem with it, and then
and then they eat my face.
Yeah.
That's it. It happens so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the switch happened, when I was like, wait a second. But there was definitely a time where I purposely started surrounding myself with women. And I didn't want to be, I was done doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at what point, like, I don't want, because I would say even a couple years ago, I probably would have been, maybe it's because I got divorced.
Yeah.
And maybe. I realized I was like, I have to take care of myself.
Right.
Like, maybe that's what it was.
Because you did everything. You really worked on that relationship. Yeah.
I did. And maybe it's a point where I realize, like, oh, I need to take care of me.
Or be with somebody who appreciates you, and then takes that step themselves to turn around, like, oh, you've been doing the dishes all week. Let me do it. Or let me take you to dinner.
Yeah.
Or let me take care of the laundry this week.
Or maybe it's just because I now seeing that in myself, I can see it in other women too, where I'm like, they're doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking get it. Like, and I want that. more of that. And I don't tolerate like man babies.
Disrespect.
Yeah, and like pick me attitude and cool girl shit. Like I'm not interested in that anymore because it turns out I super care about authenticity. I don't like people who are fake, and cool girl pick me shit is fake.
They think
I
they're
don't-
real. That's the fun. That's the ironic
Yeah, but
thing.
I was like, they're not.
But they're
Like,
basic. They think they're so cool and different and an individual. And like, no, you're kind of basic.
No, and they will probably get to a point where they figure it out, or maybe they won't.
Right.
Because again, that shit is like super embedded in our culture and it's really hard. And I don't know, I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
I think I still sometimes fall back and do or say things to myself that I was like, that's fucked up.
Right.
Like, where did that come from? You know, I'm also trying to like raise a good human
Right.
in this
You're a
house.
mom.
And so I'm thinking about this stuff.
Right. You want to,
But it's hard work, man.
yeah, it's very hard work because you think you're being less fun, which also is a
Right.
hard thing to give up too. But yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
I hope-
respect you, man. They don't really respect you. And they kind of
Not those dudes.
Those dudes laugh behind your back. You
Totally.
know, and they just and all of them, like, if they think they got a shot with you, they'll keep going. But the second they realize it's not going to happen, they'll just dump your ass anyway.
Yeah.
Because they don't care
Yep.
about friendships. And this is why there's a
No, not at
loneliness
all.
epidemic with certain, our generation, especially the men, were really, I'm sort of workshopping an idea about a book that I have about Gen X men and their entitlement and their, you know, their clinging to old norms whilst wildly claiming that they're punk as fuck. And
Yeah.
it's a sickness, man. And it's got to,
It is.
yeah.
Well, they think they're super feminist.
Because I
But
don't
then
rape women, so I'm a feminist. I'm good with women working. I've had a woman boss. I'm okay with it.
Good job on doing the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's you don't call shit out when you see it.
No.
You're not stopping your friend at the bar from acting like a fucking asshole.
Right.
You know, it's like that's not good enough anymore. And I have hope for the younger generation. I see things now in younger people where I'm like, they're not doing that. They're not putting up with that shit. Is everybody perfect? No, nobody's perfect. But like, I think younger people are starting to get it. I hope they are. It seems like they are.
I read something a couple of years ago, and it was about social media and teen girls. And like, there's always, teen girls are always going to be, we're going to teenage years are hard, no matter what.
So hard.
Yeah. But what was my point? What was I going to say? Hold on a second. I lost my train of thought, y'all. Oh, so I read something about fighting this stuff. They were saying the reporter was just talking about how young girls communicate with other young girls on social media. And a lot of it is like you're in an outfit, like, hey, I'm wearing my Easter outfit. I'm going to church with my family. And then it's, oh my God, you're so pretty, gorgeous, 10 out of, no notes, blah, blah. It's anti-bullying that they're teaching each other. Like, I got you. I'm going to verbalize the affirmation you need.
Yes.
I'll give it to you. You don't have to seek it from other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't, well, also, you don't need it. Like,
Right.
we were raised to like, it was like a diet. Like, we had to have it. It was like, I need to be on a steady diet of compliments from men. And I don't know anything else. I don't know how to cook for myself. I can only eat the compliments that men are serving me. And it's like, now I cook for myself, motherfucker.
It's also protecting men and just being like, oh, he's a nice guy and he's my friend. So, I mean, like with Louis C.K., like Janine Garofalo, God forbid she says, yeah, what he did was gross and unacceptable. She just decided to believe his bullshit and his reasons for things. And it just
so yucky.
She's another one that like likes to put herself out there. Like she's independent and blah, blah. And she's just like the rest.
Yep.
Or we were just Dave Grohl we were talking about. Like, he's just a basic rich guy, like a Gen X famous guy who was in a punk band and is now a rock star. He thinks he's the shit. and that his shit doesn't stink. And I'm sure, like a lot of famous men, he thinks, I'm married, I'm the famous one, I bring the money, so you do whatever I want, and I'm gonna behave any way I want, and you're gonna take care of me. And if you don't, then it's on you. You failed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that, like we were saying with Grohl, like what's going on with him and his situation. And if I read one more person, it's like, you got to hand it to him. At least he's being honest and he's taking responsibility. I'm like,
bare fucking minimum.
bare minimum. And I guarantee you, he didn't want this to happen. I guarantee you, this is like, there's a gun to his head, basically. Like he has an NDA that
there was a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason this came out. Like his wife was going to say something. His daughter was going to say something. Like it was going to be a thing.
I hope the Grohl girls are not pick me girls. I hope that because they're very talented and I feel bad for them. I mean, they love their parents. They love, they think they have a great life. And then all of a sudden it's destabilizing. Somebody comes along is like, well, my dick needs to do this. And that's just the way it is.
And people,
the way he announced it was so weird.
By the way, and people fuck up and they make mistakes and all those things. But like, I don't know, man. Just move on. I feel for those girls.
Move on and do better. And it's that part that doesn't happen. Like there's a lot of
I'm like,
excuses
let's see what happens next. But I hope those girls are okay because that's real hard.
And I feel bad for people who were born into that situation. Like they were the product of an affair, and then they're treated differently and badly. And it's just and it's because some guy, a talented guy, sure, but I told you I was saying this for years, like because I knew some stuff about him, but I'm like he works awful hard to be looked at as like the biggest crush for every straight guy in the world. He works really fucking hard for that. And I'm like, I wonder how much effort he puts into his relationships with women.
There you go.
And that
now you know.
Now I know. I mean, I'm sure he's a good dad, but
I hope so.
This isn't good.
I hope so. No.
And I feel bad for
this isn't being a good dad.
I can't even. Like all the stuff, like Gabe goes to the homeless shelter or he feeds the firemen. I'm like, that's great, by the way. Absolutely. More people should do it. But it's also a bit of, boy, cameras catch him doing a lot of great things, don't they? You don't hear about John Bon Jovi. I mean, he washes dishes too. Like all these people do. Yeah. So there was something I'm like, he's putting on the front so that he has an army of people that when he gets caught, he'll be like, oh man, I screwed up. And it's like, it's okay, man. You took responsibility. Now you
that's part of what the nice guy is, the nice guy trope that we're going to talk about. Like it's some of what Dave Grohl's doing could be because he genuinely wants to do the right things. It's like, hey, we should be donating money to this or whatever. But it could also be a way to cover up other things that he's doing or, absolutely.
Rich
all
people
of those
that
things
write
can
big
be true.
checks for things and then they go to the grand opening and they're doing that too to get the little bit of an ego boost. Just be, everybody knows how great I am. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm great.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering because, you and I both spent a lot of time on social media just as a hobby and part of our careers. And I thought maybe I will list some people to follow that are not cool girls or pick-me's. These are just great people to follow on social media and they have your back and they're good humans and they're fighting the good fight. Yeah. And there's a lot of crap in the world. So let's just follow the good people.
Let's follow the good people.
My first one is Jerry Ryan, and she's on Threads and Twitter at Jerry L. Ryan, and she was in Deep Space Nine. She was 7 and 9.
That is correct.
Yep. She's very active with the Democrats. Okay, so just if you're a Trumper, you probably weren't even listening to the show. Why would you even?
No, you probably bailed a while ago.
Yeah, But she's working really hard with the Democratic Party with Kamala. She's in the Geeks for Kamala group. They're the Nerds for Kamala group. And she's always on Threads. She's always like encouraging people to sign up and to register to vote. And people are reaching out to her. What do I have to do? How do I get a paper ballot? How do I blah, blah. So she's just been really great. And she seems like she seems like a cool girl. But I don't mean that in that way. I just think she's awesome.
Right.
Follow Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue is like completely on like what happened at the debates the other night and are talking about the important issues. And they're very much about lifting women,
yes,
all kinds. Yes. Greg Proops, who's
I love Greg Proops.
Oh.
He's so funny. And he's been on the Kamala train.
Oh, is he on it?
Since she was here in San Francisco. Like he's an OG fan. He liked her before it was cool.
He's a true dude that represents women and likes women. And that's another thing. Like he genuinely likes women. He's not afraid of women and he doesn't look down on them. You know, and he's he's funny on top of everything. So you can find him at Proop Dog, Prop. There's a woman, JoJo from Jers. So it's JoJo from Jerz. She's on Twitter. She's on Threads. She's just somebody that's like a social media person that's just really smart and quick and funny and is just on the right side of things. And I just always enjoy her.
I will put this person on my list.
I'll put all these in the show notes for you guys. Ms. Pack Yeti. It's Brittany Packett Cunningham. And
I know. I follow her.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. I've started following a lot of Black women on Twitter, like before there was even Black Twitter. I kind of like was instructed by friends, like, this would probably be good for you. Because anyway, so she's really, really great. And it's under Ms. Pack Yeti. And she's really incredible. There's E.C. McLaughlin, E.L. McLaughlin, Elizabeth Cronvis McLaughlin. I'm sorry, but it's E.C. McLaughlin on Threads. She's also somebody that's like really strong and powerful and is great with women and women's issues and that kind of thing. There's Quinn Cummings, who was a child actor and now she's an adult and she does a lot of writing and she has some books out and she's great to follow and she's super funny and quick as hell and doesn't like take any crap from anybody. It's really amazing. Parker Malloy is a writer.
Oh, yes.
That I really enjoy. So follow her. She came up with the expression sane washing, which is the media rewriting Trump's words to make them sound like he said something sane when we all know this man is clasping to reality with his last fingernails, attached to it.
Yep.
And my last one will be Joy Reid. She does the Readout on MSNBC.
Oh, yeah.
And she's also all over social media. She's also super on top of it and does a really good job. So that's
really, really good list. If you're looking for something funny, you could also follow mainly on TikTok, but she's on Twitter too, Drew Ofello, who basically her whole thing is she just roasts terrible men.
Oh, I love that.
It's really, really funny. She had a book that just came out called Loud. And in her book, she talks a lot about pick-me's and her history of being a pick-me as well. But I love watching her on TikTok because basically dudes show up in her comments and they're like, "You fat and ugly," and then she'll like show their picture and then roast them. It's really entertaining. Is it positive? No. But is it hilarious? Very.
Well, reach out to us in the Facebook group. Let us know like your favorite people to follow on social media or give us your examples for pick-me's and cool girls. And we also co-host a show called Dorking Out. If you like the sound of our voices, on Dorking Out, we dork out about movies. And we just covered Beetlejuice. And then Sonia talked about Beetlejuice afterwards.
Yes.
This weekend, we're covering Bride Wars. Why?
Talking about women behaving badly. We've decided to talk about Bride Wars.
Yeah, because it's about two friends that are competing over the same date to get married at the plaza. And it's Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway, but it's also written by June Diane Raphael and Casey Wilson. So that's why I wanted to check it out. So we're going to be doing that next time.
I've never seen this one. Have you seen it?
I know I have because that's another thing. I used to work at Modern Bride magazine. So
yeah. So I
had
know
to see
you-
all
you
this
probably seen
shit.
it.
Yeah. But I haven't seen it since I left. So I'm interested in like how it turned out. It's just interesting when it comes to weddings, what people think is important and what they put into it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All those places I mentioned at the top of the show, the social media places, you can use the Annie Potts gift. We got one from Ghostbusters. That would be awesome. Or just use something that you're
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Just be clever. Our email, once again, we do get our emails. We answer them. whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. Once again, if you want some stickers, let me know. I'll drop them in the mail for you. All right, everyone. So that's it for this week. Next week, we will have a creep. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I'll be leading that discussion. But follow us in all the places. And in the meantime, it's an election year. It's tough. Things go up and down. Just be good to yourself. Some self-care.
Yeah.
Hug yourself. Just don't be a creep.
Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.